Daniel Garcia's favorite joke?
No.
He says, what's the difference between jelly and jam?
Oh, what? I mean, you think kind of similar stuff, right?
Right.
You know,
No.
You're walking around through the supermarket.
Right.
You'd look.
The difference is...
Well, I mean, because theoretically,
yeah,
big display, you wouldn't think
you're like
much of. I mean, like preservatives,
right?
Maybe come to mind.
Right. The difference is...
Well, you know, because certainly maybe it's a branding thing. Like this is like all people call Coke, all soda. You know, like in the Midwest and stuff like that. So maybe it's regional class.
That's actually not the difference between jam and jelly.
Oh, what is it?
The difference is I can't jelly my cock up your ass. Oh, I'm so sad that only I got to see Bonnie the Invisible Wife's reaction to that one. Because it is Tuesday night. I'm sick as hell live in Austin, Texas. And of course that means it has got to be go time for Night Attack. Night Attack, bringing you the best of the worst of the internet ever since we started doing it. Hey, Justin Robert Young out there in Oakland, California. How the hell are you, buddy?
Oh, my God, Brian. That was really funny. Does everybody know that joke? Because I was like, we were doing a little Abbott and Costello routine there because I knew the joke and I knew where you were going. But there was a lot of people. How many people in the chat room know that joke? Although I hear it the other way. I've only heard it down the throat, not up the butt.
Well, I mean, first of all, that's rude to jam a cock down a throat. That's like a choking hazard, a literal choking hazard.
Wait, not down the. Well,
I mean, it's like you might walk a little funny. You're not going to suffocate, though.
This is a very good
like one of them fancy learning school issues, like which one's the salad fork? Like, you know.
Oh my God!
Down in Florida, you know, there are none such rules.
Oh God!
All right. Although Ion for Life just wrote cock jams, and now all I can think of is. Cock jams now available. Cock jams, Volume 4.
Da 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 da. Ow!
Get those dicks now pumping.
I was going like with the da 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 da. Ow! In the butt. Da 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 da. Ow! In the butt.
Cock jams available on CD and cassette.
Freeze new meaning to the basketball song, the Two Unlimited. Are you get ready for this?
Are y'all ready for this?
No! Ow! 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 Ow!
Always pick the jelly.
Hey man. So this is going to be a weird episode, right? And by weird we mean freeform.
Here's the thing. This is a celebration, man. This is a couple days before Christmas, first and foremost. And secondly, actually, no, that's second. You want to know what? Christmas and however you determine its significance, second place on this show. Because you want to know what today is.
What is today?
Mm-hmm.
Today, Brian, is the birth of a nation. Not a racist film.
Wow, that's a hell of a thing. Are you talking about? Is it the birth of the Diamond Nation's attack on the reviews on Amazon for The Contender now available?
We'll get to that. Don't shorten this with a cheap pop for The Contender available now at thecontender.us. Please rate, review, and subscribe. We'll get to that in a second. No need to go right there. No, this is today's Diamond Day, Brian. We founded the name the Diamond Club on this day in history.
Wait, we did?
We did.
Now, hold on. You and I had used it as a private joke for a long time, but now that I think about it, was that the time that we, for the first time, revealed it and we did a whole show just for one Ryan Carmichael? We were apparently, as legend has it, why it was a cold winter's eve in 2009, maybe? Is that it? 2009, 2008? I want to say 2010 because we sat on that joke as a private joke for a while.
So we were 2010. So we were after a show, and the chat room kept people in chat kept screwing with each other about that they were getting a private show or that they had subscribed to they had become a part of the Diamond Club. And so they would just start typing like LOL, ha ha, ha, great joke, Brian, into the chat as if they were watching something else just to get the goat of everybody else who was in the chat, thinking that there was some version of the show somewhere where they were not able to see it. So,
yeah. Oh, and by the way, that was a long-running joke.
Thing.
That's the whole reason that the Night Attack comedy albums happened, is we were joking about selling a Diamond Club membership where we would just let people in on our personal private conversations at all times, which, of course, sensibly we decided was the dumbest idea on the planet. We should never do that.
Indeed, except we did, and it became really the defining element of my life to this point, was us forming this this community, doing those albums, and really kind of taking this stuff to the next level. So, in honor of Diamond Day, we're gonna do a kind of an episode that's a little bit more like the show was when we did that famous after show where we were just screwing around and having a good time. There's not really a whole lot of bits planned. In fact, there is only one bit at all, and it's not really a bit. It's really just me, just hawking my cheap wares.
It's a brand new bit called Advertisement, the bit. In this hilarious game, you guys are going to act as my army and go forth and give me 5-star reviews on Amazon. Won't that pull the wool over their eyes?
So here's the deal. The Contenders, the card game that I did with John Teasdale and Megan Fawn of Guts and Glory, it's done very, very well in Kickstarter and is sold very well so far. However, now that we are past the point of the majority of our Kickstarter backers getting everything, we need to start thinking about the second life of this product, which people only buy card games in one of two places. Kickstarter, where we sold a ton of them, and then Amazon, where people buy even more than they bought on Kickstarter. So what we need now is not necessarily even people to buy it. You can buy it if you want. You don't have to. If you have come in contact with the game, played the game, owned the game, were a Kickstarter backer that's gotten your deck, what I would like for you to do is just go to Amazon. It is a bit.ly/Contender Amazon, and just go ahead and rank it. Go ahead and
yeah,
throw.
By the way, of course, hardly anyone actually reads the actual reviews. People mainly respond to the overall review. So if you're going to, or the rating. So if you're going to give it a good rating, then, feel free to have a little fun in the review. And we'll read the best of those later in the program.
In fact, I will say this, that there is the politically incorrect expansion for which will never be sold again. It was a Kickstarter backer exclusive. I am sitting on a sleeve of those. I will send a politically incorrect expansion to Brian's favorite review.
All right.
On the Amazon by the end of the show.
Done, and in. So where's your head at on the stress of launching that new property? Because I know that last time, or when you were here, just not even a scant week ago, 5 days back, you had some curveballs thrown your way. Did that all get smoothed out?
Not so much. Okay. I mean, we're just, and this is why this is a weird thing, because we were hoping everything would be out by now, that everybody who backed on Kickstarter would have it by Christmas, and then we could go whole hog on Amazon, hopefully like a week before Christmas. That didn't happen because of what I'm euphemistically calling supply chain issues, because I want to be a professional on my first foray into card game manufacturing and producing, and not just throw specific people under the bus. Suffice to say, it is all of our faults if you invoke the royal we in literally everything. So we have not gotten everything to the Kickstarter backers, which makes me very, very upset. However, the show's kind of got to move on at some point. So we sold our first 4 to a game shop right here in Oakland. Endgame in Oakland carries the first 4 retail available copies of the Contender. If you want to go buy them, if you're in the Bay Area, then go ahead and pick them up there. And then other than that, we just got to keep rolling and keep dealing with it. But this is stuff you've dealt with all the time.
Yeah, but I guess it's you're in a funny spot in that you guys are partnered with Amazon for your fulfillment, and I assume part of the deal is you have to send a bunch of stuff to Amazon, and at some point Amazon's like, well, we got a bunch of these, we're gonna sell them or not, and so they throw them on the store, and then that's what makes for a very difficult situation when you have, as you pointed out, supply chain issues that are delaying it for some people, and other people can essentially jump the line.
Well, and yeah, there's always going to be those issues where it's like you want to minimize that distance from when somebody buys it on Amazon and when somebody gets their Kickstarter backer thing. So if it's a few days, if it's a few weeks, all right. You just don't want to be like I am with my stupid, what's the stupid, the coin credit card thing where like they're like, anyway, we're moving on to version 3. And I'm like, where was version 1 that I ordered, about 4 years ago? That'd be really nice.
Yeah, man. Well, regardless, I know it's a I don't know, a tough situation to deal with those curveballs, but meanwhile, man, I'm so thrilled and proud to have been able to watch all of this happen from the sidelines, and you have to feel like you've learned a billion things along this journey.
Oh my God, have we learned all the things? And actually, John and I kind of just sort of cracked the idea for what would be the sequel that we could kickstart next year. And I feel like it's super, super fun. So it's still very exciting. It's still super rad. I still love it. And it's like man, soon as Christmas is done, it is like T-minus 10 months to sell every copy we can possibly print of this thing. Because, I was talking to the dude at Endgame today, and he's like, well, I'm like, yeah, we got to sell it all in this year because of the election year. He's like, yeah, also party games sometime catch headwind and sell beyond their first year, but you're going to see the majority of sales. Any game sees the vast majority of its sales in the first year.
Oh, really?
And then things tail off like past that. Ooh. So you want to have as big of a boom as you can so the echo and the reverb, kind of steps down. But that's like, well, picked a good year to have our year where we make all of our money, right? LOL. And then I ribbed nobody in particular and then started crying.
No, dude, it's going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Hey, man, we had a lot of adventures over the last week. When we were here last Tuesday, we had tipped the fact that you and I were hosting a Discovery VR slate of programs. It looks like there's going to be 10 of them. And we went on a bunch of super rad adventures. I think we only mentioned the first 4 because that's all we had done. But we've had 6 more adventures since then. You want to talk through those and let the people know what they can expect?
Yeah, man. Dude, I have a hard time even remembering all of them.
Well, it does. It does. Like, you kind of get this battle weariness where it's like this battle fatigue where it's hard to really wrap your mind around everything. I'll tell you what, let's start with this one. Right now we're looking at a photo on my Instagram. If you go to instagram.com/scamschoolbrian, you can see this. We got to do graffiti on a wall. And of course we did a Diamond Club thing. And
what was the first one? No. All right. So the first thing is, right. So we stay up late. We're doing the show. We go to bed eventually. It's like, what, 3 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, dude, it was stupid. Well, here's the electricity that you and I have comes from a place of rubbing each other almost raw. And then sometimes, the surgeon's knife is not so stable on his 30th hour of being awake and on his 30th beer that night. And sometimes we cut a little deep.
Also, yes, 100% everything you've said. Also, it's like we were up fairly early in the morning to shoot all that stuff, right? And then we had to go do far more physically taxing things than I think either of us thought in our heads when we were agreeing to, like, oh yeah, well, we'll do, we'll go visit a waterfall and we'll go barefoot water skiing and everything. And it's like, man, those are words. It does not take you a lot of calories or a muscle fatigue to say words. You know what takes a lot of calories and muscle fatigue? Actually doing some shit. And we did some shit, then came back, we're tired as hell, recharged up, did a really fun show. We had Santa on. Great time, right?
Yeah.
And then it is almost, actually, no, you want to know what it is, Brian?
What?
Right now, you are sick. Why? Because you went 2 weeks where you had to do a bunch of stuff, and then immediately upon not needing to do something immediately, your body just shut down, and you got sick. It was literally right after we were on camera that counts, right? We were in the after show where we were just like, okay. The one fatal flaw of the exhaust port on our Death Star is both of us believing that we are wronged at the same time, simultaneously.
Right. Well, and plus, and and the way we both thought we were wrong is the dumbest shit ever. Where it's like I'm all like I'm entitled to protect myself from spoilers to my choosing. I shall hum and plug my ears. It is my right to be protected as I see fit. And then Justin's like,
oh yeah. So this is about a clip of Anthony Carboni at the Force Awakens premiere. Brian, you how would you describe what happened?
I mean, it doesn't matter the specifics of it. I just felt like something was, I had spent like 2 weeks of Zen-like training my mind to wherever anything got too close and I was afraid I was going to start thinking about or trying to figure out stuff. I would go into like trying to name all the video cards I'd ever purchased in my life, anything to scrub and distract myself. And so we hit a moment of that where it was too close, and I was like, I don't want to think about who this actor is. I don't want to try to figure any of this out. So I plugged my ears and started humming. And then we I don't know, we got butt hurt and fought, but it was like both of us had dumb arguments where I'm just all like, no, the sanctity of the movie, I must plug ears. And Justin's like, someone call the Coalition for Human Rights. This man is humming next to me. It's clearly a violation.
That is really annoying.
It was dumb. It was dumb. But we got back on the same page, and then we dove in the next morning and had an amazing. What did we do the next day? It was 3 things.
All right, so we go to the Cathedral of Drunk.
Oh, jeez. First of all, take a look at this. This is an amazing, impressive structure, and this is going to look amazing in VR because the whole thing it's 3D. It's above you. It's around you. This guy collects junk of all varieties. He's been working on it since the early '90s, and it really is just in a guy's backyard. I
would like. The entire time we're doing these, and there were a few of these locations that I was really, really into, and I'm like, I looked, this is all in this dude's backyard, right? Like, there was no big thing, there's no signage for the Cathedral of Drunk, it's literally this dude's backyard. And I was just like, man, I really want to make friends with this guy so we could, like, at South by or something, do, like, a live from the Cathedral of Drunk, the Cathedral of Drunk.
Cathedral of Drunks!
The Cathedral of Drunks, yes!
Oh my God, it's amazing.
So we do that, and it is great. And there's legitimately this moment. You'll see it in the VR clip where Brian and I are kind of sitting in this little alcove area, and we're like waxing poetic.
And we really are swept up because one of the nice things about it is that it's authentic junk. Like, for example, you see plastered up in this corner an original 1970s Millennium Falcon in there. And that thing was placed there before the prequels, post the prequels, before the new set of movies. All of it. It's seen time come and go while rain fell on it. I look over here and there's a stool that says, step up to be tall, sit down to be small. That I was like, oh my God, that's from my childhood. And there's so many, I see circuit boards that I'm able to look and identify like, wow, that's a parallel port that looks like a 286 processor, it was,
and really it's like a lot of these longer shots don't really do it justice as to how ornate and amazing he's laid everything out and how great of an industrial artist he is.
And we get the whole story from him where he talks about like, oh, well, I wanted to start with this and make this happen and so on. And, nothing but joy and respect from Justin and I. And we get out and we get.
And so we're sitting down and we're just like, we're like, man, we're doing our outro on it. And it's like, man, it's really amazing that like, even no matter what, it's poetic that if you're outcast in society, you can always find a home somewhere else. And like, then we have a shot of us just kind of walking off into the sunset. This is hipster poetry at its finest, right? We sit down in the car to drive to the next location.
The door slams. There's a half-second beat. Brian pulls out a phone and says, man, that was some crazy trash. And I didn't mean it dismissively. I was just like, it was a synonym for junk, but I was like, man, that's some crazy trash.
It was just like 5 seconds ago. We're like, oh, truly, like this is binding us in the universe because we are discarded constantly by lovers, parents, friends, jobs. Here is the one place where we know that there is a heaven, there is redemption. Close. Man, that's some crazy trash.
It's called contrast. It's part of comedy.
And so anyway, we wrap up at the Cathedral of Junk, and then we head over to, I believe it was Mount Benel right afterwards, right?
We did, yeah. We had to shoot a intro to our barefoot water skiing thing.
And by the way, we're looking right now. Again, this is on the Instagram feed at instagram.com/scamschoolbrian. We're looking at was that Joey? It's hard for me to see.
Yes.
Yeah, Joey is setting up the VR camera. Which is this amazing blended rig of 6 GoPros, which one of the complexities of shooting VR means that the directors can't be anywhere near, because if they can see the camera, then the camera can see them, and that means the viewer will see them later. So they would set up the shot, and there's like 8 people for the production, and then they would say like, okay, and go. And then they would all scurry like beetles. They would all crawl behind rocks and trees and then hide while we did our takes.
That's the Where's Waldo minigame for all of these videos when you see them, is just spot the crew, because they all just had to scamper like gophers to get back in their holes by the time that they yelled action.
But in this case, we're on top of Mount Benel to set up the Lake Austin shoot for the barefooting. But like, that was terrifying for me. Like, I don't consider myself somebody who's afraid of heights, and apparently it's been years since I put myself in this many opportunities to be afraid of heights, because like, we definitely crossed over the safety lines and crawled over to some rad rocks looking over. And the whole time, the camera is precariously bounced on the edge, and every so often there would be a gust of wind, and I would think like, how hard am I going to try to get that camera? And I'm thinking, not real hard.
Not hard, not hard at all. In fact, I would just like I would like to let it fall as if it were Hans Gruber from the Nakatomi building as it crashed into everything.
Yes, indeed. But so we go straight from there, continuing to plow forward. Then we go to the Austin Art Wall, is that what they call it?
The Hope Outdoor Gallery, if I'm remembering correctly. This is another thing where it's like, man, I would love to do a live night attack from here, because it's a big public space. It's super rad. It looks amazing. And it is just this living monument.
It was supposed to be
best artists.
Condominiums back in the early 80s, but it got shut down. It got half developed. And so then it's just all of these concrete walls, all of the essentially canvases, basically. And there's this basically laissez-faire. Everybody just grab, there's somebody, a vendor selling spray paint at all times, just like go. And the general polite rule is make sure your art is better than whatever it is you're trying to cover up. And it was amazing. It was really cool.
The other standing rule is show me what you got. So we're up there and we're getting the lesson on like where everything's come from and the origin of it. And then the dude's like, hey man, do you want to do some graffiti? We're like, yeah, man, that's super, super great. And of course, Brian and I immediately are like, we're definitely doing a diamond. But I think in my head that we're going to like, kind of do like a small one, because he's just done this gigantic piece right next to it. So we're just going to maybe do like the size of like the trademark,
Oh, sure. Just a little nod. Yeah.
And so Brian is doing the outline. I'm going to fill in. And he does just like what you see right there, just like a gigantic 3/4 of the wall size diamond. And I'm like, I guess we're in. I guess we're going.
And the guy was like, yeah, I think I have 1 spray can for you. And we're like, we'll take 5 and just fill it all in. But I don't know how briefly our tag had its moment in the sun. And then after that, we went to a roller rink, which was amazing.
Yeah, no, that was certainly a unique. I mean, although that was like, man, Austin be hipstering, man. Like the hipstering of Austin. Many think that it started there. It is certainly a hipster haven, and a roller disco and an old warehouse is certainly going to be a place where there are some rad young folks who like wearing denim jackets are going to hang out. And it was super rad, man. It was so fun.
That's where I had one of my birthday parties. You remember that, Brian?
Oh, yeah. Your 29th birthday. Yeah. No, that was at a different roller rink. Apparently they're popping up all over the place.
I can't believe it.
And then what else do we do? The next day.
Well, here, I'll tell you what. Let me actually bring somebody in.
Uh-oh.
This is a family affair right here. It's Diamond Club Day. It's a few days before Christmas. I want to introduce somebody. I don't think she's ever been on the show proper. Ladies and gentlemen, my wife, Ashley Paramore.
Oh!
Hello.
Holy cow! That's is that true? That surely there's been some kind of token brief appearance before now. No?
I think back in the Twit days, there was something that I swung in on once, but that was like a million years ago.
Well, so did your husband talk about his new boyfriend?
Who?
Wait, what? What?
What? No.
Yeah,
no,
at the
I
roller
know
rink.
about this.
at the roller
Is he
rink.
cuter than me?
Oh my God! Did I not tell you?
No, you didn't.
Wait, did he say, oh my God, yes to, is he cuter than me? The answer is always no.
All right, so here's what happens. We are now. I said roller disco. If you were to affix another adjective that would normally go in front of roller disco, one might be gay. You would think that
Happy, sure.
a happy
Yeah,
roller
happy.
disco.
Yeah.
And there was certainly that element that was there at the place. It was a fun time for any and all, regardless of race, creed, gender, or sexual orientation. However, certainly seemed to be a gathering of a gay culture there to the benefit of the event. I put on, and there should be on my Instagram, a picture of me with the VR rig on my head.
Yeah, because we needed somebody to pedal around and get first-person perspective, experience of going in there.
So it's like literally my job is to not be fancy, not be doing crazy stunts, right? Not showing off my crazy trash. I just really needed to roll around the roller rink and get shots of everybody else doing all their fun stuff. So I'm going around. All of a
look
sudden.
at that.
So imagine that. That's me. That's me
You
out
need a
on
cape.
That's me out on the roller rink. At about my 5th revolution, I feel hands delicately placed on my hips.
Yeah.
So immediately I'm like, oh, this is probably Brian.
because and again, that is the kind of thing. If I was right behind Justin, this is the kind of thing I would do: is just fall in a line and maybe whisper about doing a couple slow dance or something.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I'm waiting for Brian to lean in and be like, let's just wait for couple skate or something, right? Like, there's some funny thing. I look back and it's a dude in a white T-shirt that I to first glance hadn't seen before. But I have. How much would you estimate the rig is on top of my head?
Like how much expensive?
Cost.
Or,
if I were just to take a header and destroy that rig, not only are we down, the cameras, and there's only so many that we have.
I don't think our health insurance will cover it.
Yeah, the
Or
GoPros.
wait, your lack of health insurance.
The GoPros alone are like $1,500. The rig itself is, I believe, another $3,000 or so. We're looking at upwards of $5,000 if you mess that up.
So, no sudden moves is kind of the modus operandi, right?
Yeah, sure.
So then I'm like, all right. And again, my job is literally to keep my head straight. So when you're watching on VR, that you are not adjusting for like your vision to my movement.
You're
right?
herky-jerky, right.
What are you trying to keep straight?
It's also important because you need to be able to see the predatory look in the eyes of whoever's behind you that thinks he's got a win
Real.
coming up.
And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, wait, we interviewed a dude who worked at the roller rink. He was a very friendly guy, super rad dude. Maybe he has just read our friendship to be something, that would appreciate this kind of joke. He's the one out there. He's changed his shirt because he was wearing a red shirt. Now he's wearing a white shirt. So I'm going around. No, I see the dude in the red shirt just hanging out talking to people.
Well, okay, surely you instantly recognize that this is a little sideways, and you give something like a friendly pat, like, okay, that's enough, you, and then you sped up to let it go. It's not like you just lingered in it and did like 8 more laps with a dude awkwardly grabbing your hips.
I didn't know what to do, Brian. I didn't know what to do. Stop victim blaming. Victim blaming. I just kept going. I was like, I didn't want to, like, all right. Because then, here's the worst thing.
Oh,
right?
time out. All I can picture is the folks at Discovery have all of the VR footage, and they're like, yeah, no, the barefoot water skiing came out great. The segment on Mount Benel looks really good. Everything. We're still trying to figure out how to save this roller rink thing because fully 90% of the footage, there's a dude grabbing the backside of whoever's skating around.
I mean, like, all right, so let's say I do the pat, right? Let's say I do the pat and then try to speed up. Let's say then I trip and fall and screw up the rig. Now, not only have I crippled us going forward for the other 6 shoots we have to do, but also I've done it because, old homophobe McGirt couldn't handle a couple hands on his hips.
That dude got a little grabby, so, I had to destroy our rig. You know how it goes.
Exactly. Well, come on. God created Adam and Eve with VR, not Adam and Steve with AGR.
With Alpha Geek Radio? So, all right, so you make it through your ordeal, and we call it a night. And
I mean, it was just a fun, silly, and the one time I looked back, the guy was just like, uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Dude,
so wait. What was the resolution? Did you stop the guy? Did you say,
I
"Hey,
bored
bro"?
him. I did not. I kept roller skating and not interacting with him. And eventually, he left to go put his hands on some other stranger's stomach.
Justin handled the guy like ringworm. He just waited until it went away. He figured it can't be here forever. It's just gonna work itself out.
I gotta tell you, this is exactly what women do all the time, though. It's like men come up. I mean, like if you're a beautiful woman, not that I've had this problem, but then like having this guy after guy come up and be like, "Hey, you want to go out?" You're like,
I would think though, like as a lady, you kind of like get those skills to kind of like move your body the right way to get away. You would think like as many times as you've been to Pride in San Francisco, you would have picked up on that by now.
No, unfortunately, I have not developed my seduction evasion technique to the point where I had confidence in myself to not get it. I didn't know.
So,
it doesn't matter.
Whatever. He had his hands. He had a very gentle grip.
Ashley, do you feel like you have to preserve the guy's dignity when you put him down, or are you just like, you're like,
I've gotten better about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I try and escape quietly.
All right. So let's say it's you.
Uh-huh.
And you're out on the rink. Somebody lays their hands that you are unfamiliar with upon your waist. How do you handle it?
I say, is that Brian?
No. Then we're tracking 1 for 1. That was my thought.
Right.
So the next, and keep in mind, this is a late night. So we record all this stuff, and part of it is it's a late night because you have to wait till the crowd's really hopping, and it's later on. But then we have an extremely early morning the next day because we have to we have to go to the Alamo, and the Alamo has to have us filming before they're open. So as a result, we have to be there at like 6 a.m., which means we have to get up at like 4:30 in the morning. So we go to bed at like 1, get up at 4:30.
Which, by the way, I have to write the backer update for Kickstarter telling people that they will probably not be getting their base decks in time for Christmas. So my day starts after midnight writing the only backer update I didn't want to write for the entire Contender campaign. And then I go to sleep. So we wake up, and it is, 4:30 in the morning?
Yeah, we were picked up at 4:30 in the morning. We headed on out. We stopped and got some death food. Hold on. Jeez. I'm sick. I don't know if we said that at the top.
That's fine. So we go, we get some IHOP. We roll in, and man, there is the Alamo. Now, Brian, I'm going to let you lead on this because I don't know what is beyond the bounds of professionalism.
I don't know either, but I do know that that it was an eye-opening experience to see how much people really care about the Alamo.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, I just realized I muted my sneeze, so it sounded to everybody at home like I just got choked up
About the Alamo.
thinking about the
And
Alamo.
Texans love the Alamo. And no matter what the facts are, no matter what happened, no matter what how significant it was compared to other battles and everything, like this is true. That you guys can say this as Texans, as born, bred, residing in Texas.
I can speak to this.
Texans love Texas.
Dude, we take 2 years of Texas history. We take 1 year of American history. That's our curriculum.
So it's like the idea that the Alamo means something more to Texas than it does the rest of the planet should not come as a surprise. And we roll in, and of course we were at the crew. The crew's all like DC and LA based and everything. So they're making jokes about like, oh, look, like Ozzy Osbourne, the Alamo, yada, yada, yada.
Right, and they did. They pointed out, they're like, that's the spot he peed on. They got him banned from the state for so long.
So we, again, working real hard. This is our last day of shooting. And we're just trying to keep each other energy up, right? So
Sure.
we're making jokes to each other. We're like mic'd up and everything. But again, everything's very loose. So everybody can kind of hear what we're saying.
Yeah, well, and there's certainly people listening into the audio channels or whatever. I forget what it was we were actually saying. I think there was like in between takes, to get our one move was to get each other's energy back up, which meant that and the one thing that we always know will get the other one giggling is transgressive humor, right? And so we'll throw that out, all the while, with uniformed security guards, not who don't think this is funny.
Oh no, who is about as Texas? This Wilford Brimley looking motherfucker is just like patrolling the grounds, and he is very serious about his job at the Alamo to maintain, Texas history. And so there's a lot of like, hey, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and plus also it's made like at least in most shoots, there's a cameraman there and a sound man there, and they're clearly there. And so there's no question what we're doing, right? What we're doing is we're obviously shooting material for the Discovery Channel. It's a little bit stranger when we're just holding a stick and we sit down a stick.
Here's Brian and Justin getting paid very well to shoot revolutionary content for the Discovery Channel. If you're just walking outside the Alamo at the early morning hour that we were shooting, Brian and Justin, as you see them right now, with a selfie stick. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Everyone else is hidden.
Although I will say, and this is, again, I hope I'm not crossing any lines. They said we could talk about it. I love the little magic tricks that we're able to set up. The fact that the Alamo video in particular is going to start off looking at me and Justin. We're going to kind of talk through our story and where we're at, and then we're going to point past you, and you're going to have to turn around to realize that you've been standing in front of the Alamo the entire time. And then the next thing we're going to point out is the line. Like, they actually have this brass line in the ground where Commander Travis?
Captain Phasma.
Travis drew the line in the sand saying...
Snoke.
Saying, if you want to defend this fort...
I will complete his training. That's what he said.
The line in the sand where everybody famously...
Captain Morgan said, Ryan, I'm here for you. Come here.
And so it's, I don't know. I really dig the immersiveness in there. But in the meantime, in between takes, our goal is to get each other excited. And at one point, our producer came out and be like, "Hey guys, I'm not worried about me. I'm not worried about what's going to make it onto the footage. A little bit worried about our hosts. Hearing some of the if you could just Yeah.
He gives us a settle down. He issues us a class 1 settle down because the guy that we had just interviewed, who was amazing, he was great, and you're going to love him on the video.
Historian and PhD,
But this dude knows what happened every day from now back hundreds and thousands of years. Like that dude knows prehistorically what animal and tumbleweed had rolled through there. He has an encyclopedic knowledge of the Alamo. And again, if Texas takes the Alamo seriously, this dude is the guy who is the repository of information for how serious everybody takes it. So the last thing he wants is just for some Brian and Justin horseshit of like, hey, anyway, because we keep going back and forth what Brian had said the day before, which was, man, that's some crazy trash.
Yeah. And it was, you're like, man, that's some crazy Alamo. That's some crazy. And meanwhile, we're literally talking about like the slaughter of thousands that happened there. And it's like, oh, geez. So regardless, that was an amazing segment. We hop in the car, and then I got to tell you, this is the most surprising one to me, Justin. This is the one.
And we will get to it after we remind you the patreon.com/Night Attack.
Yeah, man. Look,
It's site to visit.
if you guys want to support us, then get on that hype train and give us nickels. It's a nickel jamboree. For only 5 cents an episode, you can say, well, I gave him a nickel an episode. For 10 cents an episode, you can say, I donated a dime. For 25 cents an episode, you could say, a quarter an episode is what I pay. For $1 an episode, you could say, I'm not like those chumps, I give $1. For $5 an episode, you could say, look at me, I'm better than all them put together, times 3 because I'm a $5 donor. At $10,
Hold on, I have
you
to write
could
this
say-
down for the new levels.
Yeah, hold on. At $10, you could say, I give a dime, but not the cheap dime, the real dime. $10. At $20 per episode, you can say, I'm better than everyone because I give $20. At $50 an episode, you can claim total moral superiority and invade the country of your choice.
Brian,
At $100 an episode,
What?
then we're going to call you personally and say, all right, you want to dial it down a little bit? That's kind of crazy. Are you sure? I mean, if you're rich, that's cool, but otherwise, let's, At $200 an episode, we hang up on you instantly. No, look, all of your donations matter a whole lot to us. We are really
Wait a
excited.
minute. Go back to the screen grab on the video. Ashley, apparently Ashley has not been to this site and doesn't look at it every week like we
No.
look at. Can you please just tell me what you said
What
about
is-
my face?
What is with your face? Like, photo of you.
What do you think I look like? You don't think I look handsome in that photo?
No.
Why not?
You look awful because you're.
Number one, I'm leading with the worst part of my body, which is my exceptionally weak chin. I'm the only person who has a chin that might be an innie.
You've covered it up so well with your beard. It's,
And Brian's got his church lady face on.
Yeah.
I look
You know.
identical. I'm looking at me now and me in the video.
You have more scruff now. You also have a little more facial hair going on.
Yeah. I
Also,
also have
I
a little
think
more
you're
jowls.
skinnier now.
why
Yeah,
are you
he is.
clean shaven? Why did you do that?
It was a dare.
What is wrong with
Hey, listen, man, it was a rough time. Listen, we were in the middle of open rebellion. Like, it's just a hell of a time. All right, patreon.com/Night Attack.
All right, so we went to Natural Bridge Caverns in about an hour south of Austin. It was unreal. There's a book, and I'm sure I'm talking to like 3 people in all of our listenership who have read it. There's a book called The Descent that proposed that there was a network of caverns and tunnels in which some proto-humans lived as they served as the historical versions of demons and so on. And that no matter the farther down you went, the more giant tunnels and caverns you encountered. Apparently, Natural Bridge is that actual thing. Jeff Long, yeah, that's right, that's the name of the guy. The original gap in there is like 4 feet wide and maybe 2 feet tall. And somebody squirreled down in there and they just kept going down and they discovered these massive, massive caverns, the biggest caverns in all of Texas. Just astonishing and horrifying because there was no tour. We were on a private tour. And again, they're like, okay, you guys walk through and just talk about your experience. And we're all going to hide behind these monoliths. And so they all vanish. And there's this one room called like the Hall of the Mountain King that we go up. And it's like, it's as though I mean, it's quite literally what I picture hell to be like. It's like every shadow looks like a demon face. There are thousands and thousands of stalactites and stalagmites all around. It's dead silent outside of the few drips landing on us, and we're half blinded because we have to light ourselves as we're walking forward with our selfie
So
stick.
by the way, again, the entire shoot is Brian and Justin walking around by themselves with a selfie stick. When you're in the front of the Alamo in downtown San Antonio, not so big of a deal, right? Like every once in a while, you run into something, or you run into a Wilford Brimley who's like, "Why are you walking around on this sacred site?" And you're like, "Oh no, we're at Discovery," and then 80 people show up, right?
Sure.
Because they've hidden 5 feet away. In this, which is a single file pathway to hell, Brian and Justin have to walk with a 360-degree camera and have their every response be caught. And you can see when we're at the beginning, it's like, yeah, oh man, look at all these crazy things. I bet you, geologically, this is really interesting because of water, blah, 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 right? And then by halfway, we're just like, demons are here. Demons. Right? God, demons. We are here by accident. We will pay you fiat for transference back to the mortal world.
That's the crazy part is like you get to in that room, you get to the part that they warn you in advance. They're like, yeah, so anyway, the canyons continue forever. We've never mapped the entire thing. You'll see a green light near the end of the tour. That's the farthest humans have gone in 15 years. There's much more beyond there. We just haven't gone because because it's so difficult to go forward. It was amazing, man.
If Padre SJ is in the chat room right now, if he were with us, we would have been hiding behind him. Like that's two lifelong atheists would have been like, we were wrong, protect us with your holy fire.
Okay, can you bless the water as it falls from the sky on us? Just real quick, Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely terrifying, and you can just that was the first one, right? I don't know if we took a lot of pictures of the cave.
Yeah, no, the Hall of the Mountain King. We were. I mean, at that point, we were ready to just. I mean, I would have pulled out my camera, but I realized like, oh wait, we're getting literally the highest fidelity version of this experience possible. You don't need to pull out your camera phone.
Wow.
So again, we've been up since 4:30.
So
right. I was up earlier that day writing a Kickstarter backer thing, got a 3-hour nap, and now we're out rolling through this thing. We shoot this thing, natural splendor at its creepiest. And then we're like, okay, one more to go. We've shot 9 VR videos.
Yeah.
We catch some lunch. And then where do we go, Brian?
We go to glass blowing. And by the way, this is the moment. Might be my favorite to watch because at this point, normally there's a lot of jocularity at every time we go out to eat. Everyone's excited and wound up. Everybody has worked harder than we have. As much as we're complaining, every single other person on that shoot worked harder than we did.
Candy ass talent.
Correct.
In the parlance of the barefoot water skiing instructor, we are gentle souls.
And so we head up and we go to this glass blowing thing, and we don't know really what to expect. What we encounter is this lovely, lovely gallery of handcrafted glass blown stuff, right? And then we go into we're about to go into the place where they actually make the glass, and the guy says, oh, you want to kind of be there and kind of try something. And you could tell this guy has dealt with a lot of chumps who don't appreciate the fact that they're literally dealing with molten lava, right? Yeah. Rocks that are so hot they've melted. And basically he's like, yeah, those shirts won't do. You're gonna melt in those shirts, and you're gonna die.
Because they're polyester and not 100% cotton.
Well, yeah, correct. And to his credit, we lost like 6 GoPros during that just due to overheating.
Yeah.
It was so
and
insane.
definitely there was an element of YOLO on the crew that like, hey, we only got one more. Like, let's put these things really close to insane heat and fire, and let's just see what happens, man. Like, GoPros be GoProing. Am I right?
And this is the little bit of the insider sauce, and we'll see how much of it makes the cut. But there's like a viewing area. There's kind of bleachers so that you could watch people do the glass blowing the entire time. And the same people who had worked so hard to hide in every other shot, behind every other tree, you could tell that they just had nothing left. They're like, I'm just gonna pretend to be a spectator, and I'll just a spectator, an audience member who has a sound bag next to him and sound muffins on his head, and also a spectator who's kind of leaning back, not watching, and maybe with his eyes closed in repose.
Full crew sitting in full view of the VR cameras, just catching 40 winks real quick, man. Like, it is Power Nap City. Like, they just don't give an F because they've been working so hard. There's other people that are legitimately watching. And meanwhile, we have a artisan, man. Like, there's a lot of, like, stuff where, especially here in, like, Oakland and Austin, too, where you just hear the word artisan thrown around like it's just something to say. Like, oh, an artisan coffee maker.
Yeah, I'm a waffle artisan. You ain't never had waffles like these.
Dude, you pour shit in a thing and then you pull the thing down. It's like, dude, you have a little goose pot that drops hot water into coffee grounds and then coffee comes out. You ain't no artisan. This dude is a artist and a craftsman. He is like making glass. We're learning how to blow glass. Here's what you don't realize about blowing glass. Amongst all the amazing things you're going to learn in that video, that shit takes a while. Like, it is about 40 minutes to make anything. How long do you think it takes to make, like, a vase?
I would think probably at least a couple hours.
Well, I mean,
That's my best guess.
The curing takes like 48 hours for it to. They actually, while it's still hot, they put it in this kind of giant thermos where it stays hot and very, very slowly cools down over the next 2 days. But the actual blowing part, you're looking at like friggin' 40 minutes, Justin?
And that was them hightailing it, rocking and rolling for the sake of television. They could probably take a little longer and do, take it like, a little bit more carefully. But every step, right? It's not 45 minutes where it's like, anyway, we're going to put this thing and then put it over here. And then we're just going to wait a while. Every second of that 45 minutes, somebody is doing something that if they don't do it, it will ruin the entire process.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. We're looking at some footage right now of a random glass blower doing his thing. It's astonishing. And it's like they have a portable copy of the sun that they keep in a box, and they open it up and they stick the glass in the sun. It's amazing.
So the guy who's working with us, who's amazing, can we shout out
Tom DeYoung? Tom DeYoung is his name.
Tom DeYoung.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, Tim DeYoung. Gosh, I made that mistake before. Tim DeYoung. Wimberley Glassworks is the company, and if you check it out, it's extraordinary stuff.
If you're in the Central Texas area, go grab some stuff there because the stuff is just insane. But he's a very dialed-in dude, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like he is somebody who takes glass blowing very seriously, but is so excited to share it with other people, which makes him great.
There we go. We just saw if hold on, I'm sure it'll come back, but you could see kind of the bleachers. There we go. Live
That's
blown.
exactly it.
Yep,
there.
That's where we were. It was amazing.
So we're in that area, and the crew, because again, we have been full tilt boogie for a week solid, is just wiped. We've all been up since like 3:30 to 4 o'clock in the morning. We've driven from Austin to San Antonio and back. Everyone is just done. The cameras have burnt out, and Brian does his glass blowing. Like, so that's the hands-on, this connects the hosts with what we are seeing element. Brian blows a shot glass, and lo, the crowd rejoices.
And then after the cameras have melted, I had pushed for both of us to do something because, I feel like this is a very balanced project and it seems like both of us should get hands on so we can get various versions of it. But then meanwhile, Tim is like, Justin's like, well, hey man, we sure did get that. Let's do a wrap up and we're out. And he's like, wait, you're not going to try it? What's wrong? and so
now it's like, the crew is so wiped that like they can't even like it's like, nah, you want to know what? Like, we don't want to shoot anymore. We can't shoot anymore. Because, by the way, as we find out, the cameras have gone.
Right. Like, enough cameras got torched by the heat inside this place that they've cobbled together a Franken unit, and there's only so much storage left. When it comes time for us to shoot the stand-ups, the wrap-ups, they're all like, you have exactly 3 minutes, and we are not screwing around. You have to get as many takes as you can in this 3 minutes.
It's 3 minutes.
One of them will be in the ending of this video.
So at that point where he's like, oh, do you want to blow glass? And I'm like, well, number one, and true, I would love to, right? But, you know, technical stuff. And so I look over at the crew and I'm like, right, like what you said, technical stuff. And they're just like, yeah.
And meanwhile, Tim's like,
we could not muster the energy.
Well, and Tim
say it.
Meanwhile, Tim is like, oh, well, your buddy Brian here, he's got a shot glass. He made himself a shot glass. He's gonna be drunk, and you're just gonna sit there. What are you, some kind of loser?
And meanwhile, like last episode, all I have in my head is Brian just one hand, like doing his taxes while barefoot water skiing, like, you know, full flip. He's just doing Michael Jackson moves, like with like nothing but his feet in the water. He's just a golden god, and I got Arlie Ermy, who you know, knows all the Fish songs, you know, calling me a gentle soul and a big fat pussy for not holding on to the bar tight enough. And I'm like, all right, you want to know what? If they're not going to say anything, like they told me that they were going to say things, then let's blow some goddamn glass, which of course is the worst way to prove your masculinity ever. Like no one has ever, in a less masculine way, wanted to prove that they are truly quien es más macho, right? Like it is just... you're like, yeah. Oh, I'm going to blow glass, son. I'm going to blow glass like you never heard. Oh, watch me. Oh, look at me. I'm blowing glass. Ah.
Look at my finger dexterity while I put my mouth right on it.
Oh, yeah.
So-
no, definitely.
So what's your boyfriend's name again?
All right, no one.
This is a visual gag that you really have to
behind me
see.
and put his hands on my hips while I blew the glass.
At any rate, it was amazing. It was just an incredible experience. And then we bought a puppy.
And you don't have the glass?
No, like I told you, it's out in the car. I can go get it, but we'll have to show it off some other time. It looks great though, man. Yeah.
All right. Well, just follow
You've done a
Brian
real
on
good job.
Twitter or Instagram, and hopefully we'll get a picture or something up.
Yeah. So we bought a puppy. I don't know, man. We got a for what thought?
Oh crap, Brian, we got that other ad.
Oh, shoot. Real quick, we're going to take a moment to thank our sponsors. We have a bunch of people who shell out huge, big, giant money. If you have a business, then forget about ever advertising with us because we're too famous and important. But if you think that you have the money for it and you're a crazy billionaire, then hit us up at mail@nightattack.tv and you can do it. Now let's talk about one of our fine sponsors. Hey, Justin.
Yeah.
You ready to step up your holiday game? Tired of being second best? Do you miss your biological mother?
Get on point with the Jingler.
The Jingler was funded on Kickstarter with over 20,000 backers, totally over $400,000. Some of that donated by your missing biological mother.
Jingler is safe and dishwasher safe.
The Jingler is available on Amazon.
The Jingler only met her once, but is now in possession of her address and phone number.
Act now. Buy the Jingler with offer code I miss you by sending a self-addressed stamped envelope to P.O. Box 10853, Oakland, California, 94610.
Jingler!
What is the Jingler?
Well, listen, Brian, that's not for us to know.
Is this the Jingler?
Yes.
I mean, it looks like it.
Could be. It's fine. It's great.
It's. I mean, Brian. I mean, listen. Like,
Look,
we just take ads. We're corporate whores.
It's the bee's balls. That's their that's their slogan.
Their slogan is Jingler. What is the Jingler? That's for us to know and you to find out.
Yeah.
You bought a puppy, Ashley. You wouldn't let me buy a dog.
No, because it'll eat the birds.
This is before the birds.
Well, no, we can't. Well, because I would have rather had a cat.
Yeah.
Like-
Okay.
Okay. You know what? I don't know that there's a big beef between dogs and birds. I know there's a huge beef. There's entire cartoons whose whole narrative is about the beef between cats and birds.
That's a fact. Yeah, no, definitely. They don't get along. And now we're totally on Team Bird. But Brian, last time I was in Austin, there were whole conversations about whether or not a puppy was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it was going to happen. There were a lot of big fancy terms like we got to wait until the new year and what about our vacation and all sorts of stuff like that. Then all of a sudden, what happens? Not but a scant 24 hours after I leave Austin.
I mean, I think you know the script. The script says, I decided to take the girls out to look at puppies, which is code for we're definitely coming home with a puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We got this little lovable scamp. He's a lab mix rescued from Austin Pets Alive. And we swore that we weren't going to get a rescue. We were going to get a purebred dog, and we were going to get it as. But we figured this one's so young, he can't be that messed up. So we're going to try to mess him up real good. But he needs a name if he's going to be our disaster.
All right, so go ahead and get your names down there in the chat room. And while those are coming in,
by the way, I will put a feeler out to our sponsor for our $1,000. We'll call him the Jingler.
Oh my goodness.
yeah, no, if you can just go ahead and
They do have to provide us with a jingler, though.
Yeah, you wear it
That's-
around his
I'm-
neck, I guess. No.
I don't know what those are or how they're
just,
worn.
It is a literal pet tool, and I think you put it on you, and the pet
Oh.
Really?
follows. I think so.
Justin, did you think you were making up the Jingler at the time, or did you just pick something out of the sky?
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, that's
they
that's
paid
ad
us
copy
money
that just
to-
gets
Can I just tell you what 2 of the 3 children are calling our dog right now?
Yeah,
Like,
go for it.
They're calling it Blackie. So
Ooh, no.
we really need to come up with some better names.
It's
It's just like
I don't know if people understand. Ryan and Bonnie's daughters are not so much like white as they are like Hitler Youth dream white, right?
oh
Like,
my god,
just
you're kind of right.
alabaster skin, gorgeous blonde hair, big wide smiles. Like, it is just, just a picturesque setting that if they're just yelling, Blackie, get over here.
It's not okay. And I'm just like, and then Callie is just like, can we call him that? Like, she's 3 and she's using complete sentences, and I'm like, no, honey, let's keep thinking names.
Penny surprised me when I came in today. She asked me, "Have you met Kevin?"
Oh, Kenny.
Kenny. Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you
Kenny.
met Kenny?
Yeah.
And I don't know any of her fucking friends. I thought they were gonna call it something else.
Yeah, well, that's the name he came with. We have to come up with something better.
Yeah, this is true.
The only thing that would be better
That's
is if
so
that's
funny.
what you actually said to Penny. You're like, I know your fucking friends. Get out of here, kid.
Real quick, before we
Not
get too
really.
down the name hole here, Ashley, I don't know if we've ever told this, but Ashley had a similar gambit when she wanted to get a bird.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
No, that's-
oh, no,
that's
no.
not-
She waited until I was incapacitated.
Oh, that's right. When you were high on meds or something.
Well, I was just sick. I was just asleep. I was just like dead in my in our bed. And what did you tell me?
I mean, to be fair, first, you consented to Bird already. So none of this bullshit.
Bird
that
consent-
you did not consent to Bird.
I consented to the concept of a bird.
Yeah. So she got as far as like, do you acknowledge, sir, that there are such things as birds in this world, and that perhaps they are descended from dinosaurs? Yes or no? You're like, I acknowledge birds. She's like, well, be that as it may, would you like a dinosaur if you could have one? And you're like, yes, it would be rad to have a dinosaur. Right, I'll be back in 20 minutes.
That was the exact
She was
conversation.
wearing the powdered wig, and she was Barrister Paramore, and she had the black robe.
Barrister Paramore. And it's like, and the character doesn't go away. It's like, she's like, would you acknowledge that there are a load of dishes covered in delicious vegan treats sitting unwashed in the sink?
Shut up! This is all I'm gonna get for the next like 2 months. It's just her giving me the third degree as Barrister Paramore.
Barrister Paramore is my favorite character. He's like, would you agree that perhaps dishes should not sit unwashed? Are you perhaps crippled in some variety? Do you lack the ability to use your dexterous fingers?
So it's jury and barrister Paramore. I love
This
it.
might actually work for dishes, though, Brian. You're onto something. Like
Yeah.
this.
Motherfucker.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And then she can come in and she can go like, may I submit to the jury the following evidence? He's like, there appears to be bird feces all about. Would you care to explain, jury, where this came from?
Would the jury not admit that there is indeed upon our very feet bird feces, and that the jury would need to admit by way of the evidence submitted that we would not prefer bird feces upon our feet?
And did you not, jury, say to this jury not 10 weeks ago that you would double your efforts to clean said poop?
Thursdays this fall on NBC.
Barrister Paramore.
No, this is actually what's it called? This is not. It wouldn't be on NBC. It would be like after Doctor Who when you download it and it's like coming up next on the BBC. It's gonna clean the bird poop. Jury and the barrister up next.
Premiere. Oh, and while you were blowing glass, uninsured by healthcare providers of any variety, might I ask, did you think about what an injury might do to the remainder of your family?
Oh my God, by the way, so that's something that we didn't tell. This is an add-on to last week's episode where we were talking about barefoot water skiing. So I call Ashley the next day and I'm just explaining everything that went on. And I'm like, yeah, so I decided that I wasn't going to go for the last time because we'd already gotten what we wanted and I was tired and I didn't want to just screw up again. And also I was kind of worried because Brian had told me the story right before we went on the water about how when Jay comically face planted that he had felt like he had a broken rib for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you want to know what? We got what we need out of me. Let me just powder. And what did you tell me, Ashley?
Health insurance.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, no, great idea.
Good thing because you don't have health insurance. I have health insurance. You don't have health insurance, and you said don't get the health insurance
right now. Yeah. Yeah.
And would you say this is a good way to live your life, jury? You say this is admirable. Perhaps the birds should not have insurance as well, huh? Let's all not have insurance. Let's move to Somalia, the Justin Robert Young paradise of the planet, where nobody has insurance.
or at least can afford it on your podcast salary.
Oh, what's this? A Patreon donation? Pity it'll go to cheap booze and cigars.
That's a little personal, Barrister Paramore.
I'll decide what's personal when. Also, pour me some more wine. I require vegan chips immediately.
Anyway, so what's the dog's name? Let's go ahead and find out what that dog's going to be named.
I am so doing this around the house.
I did see something come up that's a contender, another ad for a contender.
No, by the way, everybody keep going because at the end of this episode, do not let me forget. There's 4 people on this show. Do not let me forget that we got to go back to this contender thing.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, Bobo.
Bobo's that's their daughter's name.
Okay.
We've already given Bobo to Bobo Brushwood.
We named the dog Bobo, and then you can ride off with Callie at the end of your 3rd movie together.
Dun 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 dun.
I really like Kylo.
Kylo?
I do.
That went over like a lead balloon.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you guys? All right, here. Let us help. Right. What do you guys want in a name, ideally?
Brian keeps coming up with. What are you saying?
I wanted to call him Digi.
Digital.
Digital. Call him Digi. Digital. And then that's how I could, because it's like you always feel like here's how I pick a dog's name is what am I going to sound like when he runs away?
It's
got to be a phrase
totally.
that you don't mind shouting out to no one in particular, and everyone has to think that it makes sense.
He kind of looks like a spike.
Or like Max Troll Dog.
Max Troll Dog.
I mean, you got Daphne already, so.
Yeah, that's true. He's too sweet, unfortunately, though.
He can
He's
meow.
a sweetie.
Well, no, Max isn't terrible, right? Max the dog.
Dude, I actually like Max.
He's pretty talky, so he talks a lot. That's
Talks
like
to the max.
personality. his
Can we call him
personality
Verbal?
thing.
Verbal Kent?
Do you want me to play the clip?
Oh, dude, yeah, listen to this.
This
This is the dog speaking, shouting for mama.
Yeah, this is my 6 a.m. wake up call.
Yeah,
Oh, I need a louder.
it's going great.
Good
Right.
morning.
Bonnie's
Bonnie.
just taking
Pictures.
pictures.
Here,
Bonnie,
give it to me.
Bonnie's now
Give it to
taking
me.
more pictures after we told her she's taking pictures.
I'll plug it in.
Okay, the first one's better.
Oh, ignore all those pictures that she just took.
Yeah, of our dog on a TV screen. By the way, I always don't like taking pictures of people or animals sleeping because they look dead to me.
Oh, are you kidding me? Yeah,
There
he's
is
super sweet.
not any sound. This is.
What?
See if it's muted. If it's muted,
It's not.
Yeah, welcome
Maybe
to Tech
Bonnie
Corner.
should just reenact
Oh
it.
wait,
Oh, here we go.
Okay, do the next one.
wait for it. This is like Sasquatch hunting.
Is he saying Obama?
It does sound like he's saying Obama.
He did.
He's,
first
he's
one.
lamenting that he was born at the end of his second term, and he realized this is all the Obama he's gonna get. He's like, oh, Obama! Oh, take it before your time.
But it's really confusing because like
Squarespace available.
What about Pole Pup?
Pole-
We go-
so like his sound is
That'd
like
be like the adorable 80s version where like they're like, all right, listen, this is way too serious. But maybe kids can learn about dictators if they learn about Pol Pot, Pol Pot, so getting his people and killing them. Too bad Hitler dog is overshadowing him because Pol Pot's still evil, but not as evil as if he were killing the Jews.
oh hey somebody said Maximus no spam or like
Maximus Nospam?
But I always wanted to name like if we had sons, I wanted to name one Max.
Can we name him
we name
Baxter?
Max?
Because we always said that
Baxter, we said
if we were going to have
Baxter.
your objection, we were going to name our son Baxter Thunder Brushwood.
Right.
But you were like, well, isn't Baxter a dog's name? And I was like, don't care. Too cool.
Well, now we have a boy dog. You want to
We
call
could
it
name him
Baxter?
Baxter.
But is Bax, because you're going to want to shorten it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, it'll be Bax. I like Bax.
Okay, then we'll float that in front of the kids.
No,
we'll
you can't
shortlist
go
that
with
one.
Bax because Bax sounds like BACKS.
Like you're
Well, no.
commanding him. Backs.
His name-
Backs.
His name will be Baxter. I don't know. I kind of like that.
What about Thunder?
Just thunder.
I mean, Thunder was a rad-ass name.
Yeah, too close to Buncham struck.
Oh wait, we had a song tonight.
Oh yeah. Dude, we're already running way long. All right, we'll continue to figure this out. Man, oh man, I thought for sure we would spend most of the episode talking about that amazing moment with Steve Harvey on the Miss Universe pageant. I've watched that a billion times. I'm so. It's so good.
What's super
Now, hold on
awkward.
now, player.
What's
What he
that?
says normally on Family Feud. That's like his line. It's like, now hold on now, player.
I see.
What's super awkward is watching it now that like we all know what's happening, and then seeing her happy and waving.
Well,
for
here,
this,
let's just get the
super
full.
long
Let's
time.
go ahead and go live here to the band. I'm sorry, Leo.
I have to apologize.
And just like what?
She just snapped turds like what? I just got crowned Miss Universe. Clearly, there can't be a mistake.
The first runner-up is Colombia.
So, if you haven't seen it, Philippines and Colombia were the last two, and he read the wrong name on the card, and it had the best cover-up. Like, there's so many things I want to...
Universe 2015 is Philippines.
So they just crowned the wrong person, and so now they have this Philippines awkwardly walking forward to what's the chick in a crown, who's now standing there thinking like,
Who, by the way, don't speak no English.
Right.
She doesn't know what the hot hell happened.
"Oh no!"
Wait, she really doesn't?
They're from the Philippines and Colombia.
Yeah, but they speak English, I bet.
Not all of them.
Not Steve Harvey screwed up reading the card.
No, I mean, that is pretty
common
intense
English.
English, yeah.
Oh
and then
my
they
god!
send in the lady bouncer to be like, hey, we have to have a transaction right now.
And
I
the lady
know.
bouncer like pats Columbia on the back,
She's like, give it up.
like, "Hey, so anyway, funny thing about that crown, I'm gonna need me some of that."
I actually haven't seen this until now.
Oh,
Oh
really?
my god. Watch
Oh
this,
my
watch
God.
his hand pat.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
It's just like,
So knowing.
it's just like,
She's like, "Hey, so
she is a female
Let me
bouncer.
just take
here we are. Look at
And
us."
now here she goes.
This
It's like,
is exactly what's on the card. I will take responsibility for this. It was my mistake. It was on the card.
Wait,
Horrible mistake, but the right thing, I can show it to you right here. The first runner-up is Colombia. It is my mistake. Still a great night.
All
like
Trump
great
in the fire.
that to me the first.
oh, no. This was Trump's. This was Trump's thing. And then he was separated from it when he started running for president. This is the first one without Donald Trump. And she's got to
I
get
mean-
that crown snatched right off her head.
P, people said there was trouble without Trump, but I say it's still a great night. Still a great night. Still a great night.
Still a great night.
That's what, that's on me as a viewer. I was enjoying clearly not the spirit that the pageant was intended.
And then can we go ahead and show Steve? I mean, again, Steve Harvey. This is a man who was a stand-up comedian, a road travel.
I did a show.
stand-up
I did a
comedian.
show 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I was on.
Yeah, he hosts a radio show, a nationally syndicated radio show, knows how to roll with the punches. I'm sure he got right on Twitter and totally smoothed everything over, maybe with a self-depreciating joke or something. Let's go ahead. Someone throw a link in the chat room of what Steve Harvey responded with right on Twitter, just to take the air out of the situation, maybe make everything all right.
He definitely responded by misspelling both Philippines and Colombia.
He says, quote, I want to apologize emphatically to Miss Philippians
And Miss
and Miss Columbia. This was a terribly honest human mistake, and I am so regretful.
Oh.
Oh.
By the way, in his defense, I wouldn't be surprised if he was
Autocorrect.
off stage and somebody pointed out his error, and then somebody else just said, you know what, just run with it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Too much on the line. Just run with it. And then that would justify the weird way he came out and said, this is the right thing to do, is to admit that I messed up. Put it on me.
Oh, no, I'm sure that somebody back there wanted to run it, but there are also, like, depending on what the organization that actually, like, runs that, if it's no. If you are televising, like, this is like quiz show stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you are televising that contest, the contest can't be rigged.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's like, if somebody wanted to roll with it, you can't. Like, you will get sued, and it is like a legal problem to just try to roll over a mistake like that for the sake of television.
Yeah. Agreed. Dude, anyway.
It's still a great night, though. It's still
a great night. Great night. He accepts full responsibility.
It's a terribly honest and human mistake. Brienne Bonnier, I really think that it's a terribly honest human mistake. I accept responsibility.
I've loved seeing the one note memes that are coming out where like there is just a graphic that shows Steve Harvey and it says, I don't care what happened. Steve Harvey is still my favorite comedian. And then the bottom half says, oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. He's my second favorite comedian. My mistake.
Still a great night, though.
He's a great comedian.
He's still
That's
a
on
great
meme.
night.
That's on meme. Hey, speaking of contests and crowning winners, we got to take a quick moment and wrap up our Dance Showdown competition. I want to thank Man, how I wish Steve Harvey had crowned the winner on this one.
Oh.
Hey, don't tip the bucket. There's a bucket and don't tip it.
Oh, okay, all right. It's like literally the last 10 seconds of this. It's so close to keep on going. There you go. Yeah.
You guys, before we announce the winner, I just need you guys to know that the Performance 1 scores and the Performance 2 scores were like literally like so close. So today, the win is based upon what the people thought at home. Now, the winner of Dance Showdown Season 4 and the winner that's gonna take home the $25,000 in cash and the 2016 Toyota Corolla S is... Show Up!
Dude, Matt Stefanina is a legend of a choreographer. I can't think of anyone more talented. He's got over 5 million subscribers on his YouTube channels. He absolutely earned it. I mean, he's so good. And of course, Gabby outdanced everyone. Man, what an experience! I faced everything that makes me the most terrified in life, and somehow walked away alive.
With the Coca-Cola.
Do you know
fridge.
where you stood?
No, they. I don't know. That's the kind of thing that like 2 years from now, I bet over a cocktail party when I run into someone there, I can find. But I can't imagine that they release any of those numbers.
Dance Showdown was not a work. Listen, let's everybody give full and proper credit, not only to Dance Showdown, but also to the winner, Gabby. We did our best. We made Brian competitive in something that was easily, I think you could admit, not your strong suit.
Nope.
Professional dancing.
Nope.
That is to be commended. We won, what, 3 out of the 4 viewer polls?
Yeah. No.
Three?
Of the public ones. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Wow, that's crazy. And then we won one of the judges' competitions, and they said the judges said very, very nice things.
So you gotta believe that we are super close. But credit to them. They're great, and they have youth and vitality on their side.
Still a great night. Still a great night. Still a great night.
A great
Can
night.
she- next year, there's got to be a barefoot ski showdown.
Oh yeah.
And then let's see who wins that one.
Sure. No, regardless, I cannot thank you guys who voted and rallied behind. It was a delightful 3 months of paper cut agony in its own wonderful, loving kind of way. It was an amazing experience. Those guys were super pro to work with. Can't say enough good things. And thank you to everybody who voted.
All right. We have another contest. That is the contest. Brian, I'm going to have you look at a few of these here. If we can go to bit.ly/Amazon, or sorry, Contender Amazon. That is where everybody listening right now and live, go ahead and submit your reviews for the Contender, the card game that I made. And
Oh, wow. We just exploded from 4 customer reviews to 16 customer reviews.
That is people who have logged into Amazon. They wrote down their review like this is amazing that we have done it, and I would love to see more because again we need thousands, we need hundreds at the very least to start to crack these algorithms here. So anybody who is listening, if you think I don't know, no, seriously, just go ahead if you are familiar with and feel that your opinion is worth it to go ahead and write a review, then please go ahead and do it right now at bit.ly/Contender Amazon.
I'm scrolling down, and we see from Wanyan. It says, do you love Cards Against Humanity? Do you love making fun of politicians? Do you enjoy fun? Then buy this game. It's totally worth your time and money. Seriously. I don't know why you're still reading. Go. Buy it. Buy it now. Stop reading, you fool. I don't care that there are still words on this review. I don't have time for your excuses. I only want you to buy this game so you and your loved ones can have fun together. Seems you either have no one you truly care about or you secretly hate those you claim to love. Well, this game will fix that. You'll finally have true love in your heart and your soul. Your life will finally have meaning. Think these claims are too extreme? Then buy the game and see for yourself. Not bad. Not bad.
You want to know what? That gets a politically incorrect deck.
Whoa. Nicely done, Wanyam.
Go ahead. Email me, justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. I'll get that to you in the mail tomorrow. However,
WHCTHBD says, what? An awesome card game about politics, unique game mechanics. How could this have been done? This is a wonderful debate party game that contains a lot for being $30. Currently, started on Kickstarter and launched to a huge response. Fun and funny gameplay. Great for that the box leaves room for expansion. Glad to see it was made in the USA too. America.
Well, how could this have been done?
yeah, listen, I'm going to be giving away politically incorrect expansions for the best people who write those reviews. So just go ahead and write a review and then throw it to us at Contender Game on Twitter. And the best of them that we see, I will be giving I'll be mailing out at my own dime politically incorrect expansions for you guys. Again, never going to be sold, these expansions. Ever, ever, ever again. The only ones that we have are the only ones that will ever be in existence. You can get some if you leave a review on this Amazon page.
Oh, yes. And it looks like they're still coming in. So we'll hold off on actually picking an official best of. We can come back to that next week. So everybody listening, go ahead and jump on in. Meanwhile, we got to jump in on the Movie Draft Minute.
Welcome to your Movie Draft Minute presented by Cosmic Radio TV for the week of December 21st, 2015. I'm your host, Roberto Villegas. Finally, the week is upon us. Christmas is almost here, and The Force Awakens has finally been released. And with that, everybody's on the board. But how did everything fare out? Let's go find out. Brian Ibbott's in 6th place with $109.7 million. Justin Robert Young's in 5th place with Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Road Trip, bringing in $17.2 million, bringing his total to $171.6 million. Brian Brushwood's in 4th place with Force Awakens, bringing in $288 million a week, with Brian Brushwood taking 75% of that, bringing his total to $216 million. Chrissy Cates is in 3rd place with $280.6 million. Malongo A.E. is in 2nd place with A Big Short, bringing in $1.3 million, bringing his total to $341.5 million. And in 1st place with $487 million, it's Tom Merritt. And that is your Movie Draft Minute for the week of December 21st, 2015.
And that's weird. That looks like just one weekend of movie sauce has me halfway up the charts. It's crazy. That's some crazy trash.
Brian. So that was 75% of an estimated $248 million. And even that is thought to be low because there were so many. Like, normally, you can have a general idea on what an opening weekend was because you know how many theaters it's opening in. And then you can take the volume of people who are coming early and then project that out, right?
Yeah, so what I was doing is I was poking around. It defeated the previous opening weekend box office all-time winner of Jurassic World. That movie did a 208 million opening week and ended up on its full run at like 608 or 650 million. Oh, okay, I gotta sneeze. Did I mention I'm sick? Hold on. There we go. I muted it, nailed it. But so by that same token, this one opened at 247 over the weekend, which means it might be on track to do like 700 million. If that's the case, then I almost certainly will beat Tom.
And by the way, that's even an estimation that might be underestimating it because theaters were adding showings beyond what they had even when they were projecting it out. So that opening weekend still might be more. We still might not know exactly how much this movie made, even in the opening weekend. And Disney said initially that second week might equal first week because more kids are out of school this week compared to last week.
Yeah, that's a good point. Dude, it's going to be...
The Force Awakens, $1 Williams says The Force Awakens did $40 million today, Tuesday.
That's pretty amazing.
A $40 million opening weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for most movies, is thought to be pretty damn rad. that did that on a goddamn Tuesday.
Uh,
Up going up on a Tuesday.
That is amazing. Man, this is going to be a fun one to watch because it's not a question of will it make the most money, will it become the best-selling slate, but the question is, will it do it by February 12th? And I think that's going to be fun to watch, especially since Tom has 2 more movies.
Fun to watch to see whether it does it by January 1st. All right, so let's say it does 200, which is in play by week 2, right? Or it does another 200 in its second week out, which seems very plausible, if not underestimating it.
Yeah.
So now you have 448 million for which you get 75% of. So then what do you need it to do in week 3 to topple Tom Merritt?
We'll find out. Stay tuned for the rest of the movie draft. Shall we take a moment and do a little Diamond Time?
Let's go ahead and do a little Diamond Time.
Head on over to diamondclub.reddit.com. Of course, Diamond Time is the opportunity we have to shout out your projects that let you use our megaphone. And our first entry comes from Big Jim, who says, I love you guys, gals, non-gender, familiar identification of others. You make me laugh, cry, and feel good about myself. You know who else does this? The guys, gals over at MajorSpoilers.com. One of their own, Rodrigo Lopez, DM of the highly acclaimed D&D podcast Critical Hit, just wrote a book for all ages called The Tale of the Tallest Rabbit. It'll be available on Amazon on January 12th. I know you're thinking, Big Jim, WTF, you want me to buy a kid's book? And I answer, shut up, mother. And yes, I want you to buy and enjoy this kid's book. Just like you enjoyed the kids' movie, Shrek. Just like you bought those kids' toys for Star Wars. It's not expensive, and it would really help somebody who I consider to be one of the best storytellers I've heard. Don't believe me? Go listen to 2 episodes of Critical Hit and tell me you're not hooked. But that's just my 2 cents. So you can head on over to bit.ly/YOLO420 Tallest Rabbit Swag. That's each word capitalized just at the beginning.
Or just go out on Twitter @Fearsome Critter. That looks like a great book cover. It learned from Andrew Main's How to Write a Novella in 24 Hours. Just looks amazing.
It's simple and iconic. It looks totally badass.
So go ahead and check that out. And also, I mean, listen, it comes to kids books, man. Hopefully supported by so many people on this show. One of the great independent kids book franchises is from Bill Meeks, right?
Yeah.
Who comes from Diamond Club. So man, we got a fertile ground of supporting good kids books. And don't tell me some of y'all ain't squirted out some kids.
Don't lie, because that's a dishonoring to your kids.
Yeah, come on, man. Exactly. All right, here we go. Howdy, folks, says $1 William. As those of you who have already listened to this week's jury show know, Night Song, KNIGHTSONG, the Renaissance Vocal Ensemble, of which I am a member. We got 2 albums of classic a cappella Christmas music to class up your Yuletide cheer. I'm not here to ask you to buy 2 albums or MP3s, although they are on CD Baby and Amazon if you want to hook them up. But if you would just head over to our artist listing on Spotify and give us a follow, maybe cue up the aforementioned Christmas records, Said the Night Wind, and Renaissance Christmas, I and the rest of the group would really appreciate it. Here it is. bit.ly/capital K NIGHT capital M USIC capital SWAG. That is Night Music Swag, or lowercase Night Music Swag also works. Remember to throw the K in front of night. This poop is the truth. Can we cue up just a little bit of that there? Do you still have the Spotify page?
I do, but I am not actually have a Spotify account.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. You want to know what? I can actually...
Here, I'll tell you what.
I think maybe we have it. Oh, Brian, because Brian has Spotify through Facebook.
Am I logged in?
Trying.
Wait, did you log in on Facebook? I never use Facebook for that stuff.
Wait, here we go. This is Night Song.
Ding dong merrily on high, in heaven the bells are ringing. Ding dong merrily and sky is rimmed with angels singing. Gloria, Hosanna in excelsis.
This is like for real, like you want that big amazing like Renaissance Christmas stuff. Like you want to rock that stuff, man. If you are a nerd like we are all nerds on this show, you thirst for Renaissance a cappella in a way that you wouldn't tell your friends or family. You wouldn't go yell to your coworkers and say when they're like, "Hey, did you see the Bears play basketball?" You're like, "No, I didn't. I was at home wishing I was listening to Renaissance a cappella like a fucking nerd I am. I love it." So go ahead and get it in your life.
Oh, yes, which brings us to our last one right here, which is from Ethan Kane. He says, "Hello, Diamond Club. I'm starting a new podcast called Undaunted, where each episode I talk to fellow podcasters from all walks of life and discuss what went well, what went wrong, and what just didn't matter. We'll share the good, the bad, and the many laughs and lessons along the way. Are you looking for advice on how, when, or why to podcast? Well, this isn't that show. This show is testimonials of actual podcasters sharing stories of their podcasting life. Details here, ritualmisery.com/words. Nope, you don't get it. It's bit.ly/YOLO420podswag is the short link. If you podcast and would like to join the journey, ritualmisery.setmore.com.
Dude, that is rad. Wait, did we just go opposite? I think we just went opposite, right? Don't we normally go diamond, then we go, and let's check out the movie draft minute? But we already played the movie draft.
Yeah.
We went out of order. Also, I'm still muted because I was blowing my nose.
I just have muscle memory. All right. Well,
dude, I'll tell you what. I hope everyone had as good a time as we did. I felt like there's stories we didn't even get time to get to.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Real quick. Ashley, what are we doing on Christmas Day?
Twitchmas.
What's Twitchmas?
We are going to be cooking for probably at least 6 to 8 hours on Twitch. Christmas Day, starting 10 a.m. Pacific time. And we're going to make a full Christmas meal. And so if you got nothing going on, you can hang out with us.
And by the way, I'm going to get cooking myself because the Italian food for which has dominated Christmas dinners in my youth will be on display, including my sauteed escarole, my manicotti and stuffed shells. It is going to be super awesome, and it will be a rad time for all of us to hang out with each other. Listen, we all know there's that point when you're hanging out with your family where you're just straight bored AF. Hit up twitch.tv/fakegamergirl, which is where we will be when we Twitchmas with you all.
Maybe we got some new tunes on Spotify now too.
Yes,
the Diamond Time guy.
We've got we have Night Song. Yeah, we're gonna rock some Night Song. We're gonna have some Renaissance a cappella. It's gonna be a really, really fun time. Share Christmas with us. We love you.
Oh yes, dude. That was a lot of fun. Sorry that we brought a little less energy than usual. We didn't set anything on fire. We burned no houses down. We did no harm. We took nothing but pictures. We left nothing but footprints. We killed nothing but time. But that's the creed. Once you've been in the Hall of the Mountain King, and you've seen Satan's armchair in the depths of the earth, you come back a changed man.
Yeah, we were inhabited by demons. So this is us forever.
Yeah, sorry guys. We're demonic. See you next Tuesday.
Die in a fire.
It's Satan's armchair.
Merry Christmas!
Every time you go, I get so sad that I wanna drink a warm glass of Drano. Night attack, night attack, night attack, night attack. Night attack, night attack, night attack, I love you.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.